Here's the thing, okay? You say that revisionist history doesn't do a lot for you. Well, here's why it does a lot for me, okay? The idea is that potentially, if Brad Holmes would have made different moves, the Lions could have copied what the Eagles did. There was no secrets to what Howie Roseman did. The opportunity to draft some of the Georgia defensive linemen was there for the Lions. They could have did the same thing. So what I'm saying is that if you're Brad Holmes and you're now starting your career as a general manager and everybody thinks that you're all world and all hitting and everything like that, everybody's giving you an A grade, you're up there standing pouting your chest after an NFC championship loss. You know what? The idea is you could have made the moves that the Eagles made. Those moves could have all been made similarly by the Lions. You could have made Saquon your final piece if you don't draft Jahmyr Gibbs because you're developing and you're looking at a skill position player. You could have said, okay, instead of Zadarius Smith at the trade deadline, maybe you go out and you get a wide receiver. Maybe you invest in a player that could have come here. So what I'm saying is that the idea is I know we're looking at roster building and things like that, but the idea is it has the feel when you look at what the Eagles did that the Lions, if they just would have maybe had a little bit of a shift in philosophy and taken one swing, might have a Super Bowl right now. I am sensing, unless you can convince me, and you have not done that yet. What you're saying is that well, they're still developing. It hasn't happened yet, and I do believe the Lions are on that pace. They're trending upward. But my argument is not, okay, do I think that, Brad Holmes is building well or not building well? I think that the idea is I could sit here and what my heart says, the emptiness I feel is that the Lions should have one Super Bowl ring right now. I believe it could have happened. That if you would have maybe taken a swing in 23, a little bit bolder at the deadline, you know what I'm saying? In 23, we're all excited for, hey, make a bold move. And you walk up there, you bristly walk up to the podium, and you tell everybody, hey, we traded for a backup wide receiver for the Browns that they didn't want. And that was your move, Donovan Peoples Jones. And then that's the time where, hey, maybe that would have been your Saquon move. You see what I'm saying? In
Mm-hmm.
that if he was bold in 23, there was a chance. Dan was feeling like, hey, that was a winning thing. And what you invested in was Donovan Peoples Jones. I think what we're saying is, what stings is that I am feeling emptiness in my gut right now. I'm jealous of the Eagles. They have two appearances in the Super Bowl and they have a win. And they got a mobile quarterback. They paid him. They rewarded him. They got a stud in Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. And they got a defensive line that wrecked the best quarterback in the NFL. And I think where it stings is the Lions were able to kind of replicate that, but they didn't. And so that's where the void is. But I do think, okay, I can get over that void right now. Okay, I'm impatient. It's been 59 Super Bowls. And how many appearances do the Lions have in those Super Bowls?
Zero.
Zero.
Yep.
Okay, so there is a little bit of urgency that is behind the context of why I'm upset.
Yeah.
But I do believe the Lions are building in a way that gets you chances. What I'm saying is that I think the ticket was there to cash in, and you maybe didn't take the chance to put the extra $100 on the ticket to do it. And you were a little bit cautious at the time. This year, you can't blame them from going out and getting Zadarius Smith. You had a hole. You just were ravaged by injuries. But I think looking back, there were opportunities to draft differently that maybe would have allowed the Lions to get to the Super Bowl this past season. So I do think that that's intriguing. And I think that's where some of the people are looking at, hey, wait a minute, moving forward, maybe now you got to reinvest in the trenches in the draft or go out and get Myles Garrett.